Minions: The Rise of Gru is the brand new sequel to the prequel series of Minions, which takes place in the Despicable Me franchise. This film stars Pierre Coffin, Steve Carell, Alan Arkin, Taraji P. Henson, Russell Brand, Julie Andrews, and Michelle Yeoh, and tell the story of Gru is now finally with the Minions after the ending of the first Minions film, and Gru just wants to be a part of his idols who are this villain, six-team villain team. And once Gru gets captured, the Minions are there trying to save him. The film's an hour, 27 minutes, and is PG. Welcome back to a brand new movie review here at Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Denberg. New to the channel, please subscribe, ring the bell. I do these types of movie reviews, TV show reviews, movie rankings, and a box office breakdown show every single Monday. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. Let me know, what are your thoughts overall on this franchise? Did you grow up with the original films? Do you like them, not like them? Are you tired of the Minions films? If you've seen it, let me know what are your thoughts on it. If you haven't, tell me you're going to take your kids or go by yourself to see the movie. Let me know in the comment section down below, and like the video, guys. The thumbs up button, that's how you support this channel. So my overall thing on this franchise is that I actually really enjoy the first Despicable Me. I don't think any other film in the franchise, spoiler, including this one, have really come close to kind of what made that first film a easy to watch, fun children's movie. The first one came out when I was 8 years old. I've seen all these films in the theaters, and I just really liked the first film. And then, and I think the second one is an okay sequel. Third one's kind of whatever. And then Minions for me was just far and away the worst film that the franchise made. Minions came out 7 years ago, if you can believe it, but it made $1 billion. So you knew that this is one of the best franchises money-wise that Universal has. So I knew they would make a sequel. Gru kind of shows up at the last as a cameo in the ending of the movie. And I was like, oh my God. And because I really don't like the first Minions. I think this actually film is way better than the first Minions. I think also makes the first Minions feel even less rewatchable, or even just, it makes the first Minions film useless. You can really skip over that film if you haven't seen the first Minions. And if you've seen all the 3 Despicable Me movies, or even just the first one, you can walk right into this film and know what's going on. So that's coming up. I was really nervous, but I was actually happy because Gru is back in this movie. Now, while Gru is Child Gru, voiced once again by Steve Carell, is not the main character or focus of the movie, he's still in there way more than I think I even thought heading in, which is a pleasant surprise. So let's get into it, my positives, my negatives, and my scores. So my biggest positive is that, as I just said, that Gru is back in the movie. The biggest problem with doing a Minions solo film was that, again, the Minions speak basically gibberish at a very loud volume, and there's only so much you can take for a 90-minute film with them just blabbing around the world. I actually rewatched the first Minions last night before seeing this film, and while there's definitely funny moments in the first Minions, it's way more annoying than it is funny, and the actual human characters are pretty much useless in the entire film. Gru being back already makes this film feel like a much better movie, because Gru is the heart of this franchise. While the Minions have gotten their own spin-off films and have kind of been the big merchandise makers for the franchise, when you actually watch the films, Gru's storylines, especially in the first one, being this grumpy wannabe supervillain taking care of these 3 daughters, that's kind of the heart of that first film. And while, yes, obviously that's still not there, the heart of that is not in this movie, it's a huge improvement that Gru is in the movie. And Gru is hilarious. Steve Carell does just amazing voice work still with this character. And I could really I wish we just got more Gru movies than Minions movies, because Gru is such an interesting character who's voiced by a fantastic actor, which has been really, so when Gru's on screen, I actually feel like the movie's working way more than it should. His relationship with Wild Knuckles, who's his biggest idol on that villain team, voiced by Alan Arkin, was actually a cool relationship that I think they should just do a movie of them two instead of just the Minions, and then Gru and Knuckles are kind of just there. Pierre Coffin does a good job voicing the Minions once again. It's still mostly about Kevin, Stuart, and Bob, the 3 Minions who found Gru in the last film, but then there's also a new Minion called Otto who also joins in the fray. Again, the 3 of them are good together. Really liked actually Taraji P. Henson as Bell Bottom. She's like the leader of this villain group. She had a lot to do in the first 15 minutes of the movie, and then she kind of just disappears for big chunks. And I actually wanted to see her character developed more. It's cool that the second straight film of the Minions has a female-centered villain. It's Sandra Bullock in the first film, and Taraji P. Henson here. Michelle Yeoh is also in this film. She's good. Nice to see Russell Brand and Julie Andrews, who's back from the original 3 films. Good as well. So the voice cast is good. I was definitely had a smile on my face and was laughing for portions of the movie. I don't think I ever like belly laughs or was dying laughing, but I was chuckling really throughout the entire film. And really because some of the Minion jokes are good, but really Gru really gets me laughing. And he's kind of the thing that I want to see the most from this franchise. Some of the action scene, and actually I prefer the first half of this movie way more than the second half of the movie. Once Gru, as you see in the trailer, gets captured and it's like a Minions road trip again, trying to get him, that's where the movie kind of falls apart. Because when Gru is with the Minions trying to get recruited, I actually like that portion of the film. But of course, Gru needs to be captured because this is not a Despicable Me film, it's a Minions film. So Gru kind of gets captured, and that's where it becomes basically a Minions film. That's where it went downhill. So let's get my negatives. As I said, the second half of this movie, just especially the third act, just did not work for me. As I said, once Gru gets captured, Gru becomes barely a part of the story. He becomes a plot, the B plot to the film in front of the Minions, who go on this whole road trip where they have to learn karate from Michelle Yeoh, which is just totally random. I see in the trailer, they get turned into like chickens for a split second. It becomes a cartoon in the first half of the movie to like an absolute like Looney Tunes, the most cartoonish animation you'll probably see all year long. Just like the first film, the story just isn't very good because they make the human characters just so dumb in these 2 Minion films. It's like ridiculous. The C plot of the film is Otto with this guy trying to find Gru. I mean, that was just absolutely unwatchable for big chunks of the film. And it felt like every time Gru was not on screen with the Minions just didn't have as big of a spark because their dynamic with Gru is why I think the Minions popped in the original films, but not here. As I said, the story is absolutely ridiculous. The last 25 minutes of the movie are just rough. I mean, it's not an exciting action scene. And just the ending, you're kind of like, well, of course they left more room to do Minions films because clearly they want to do prequels with the Minions. But I don't know why we have to keep making these prequel films. I think I really am tired of the Minions films. While I didn't hate this film, I didn't like this film either. I just feel like if we want to go back to this franchise, you just keep going back to the Despicable Me main franchise films. I think the Minions just being the A plot lines, they're meant to be side characters. And when they're supposed to be the main characters and they're on screen by far the most in the entire film, that is the problem. So while Gru is in there bringing a little more positivity to the Minions franchise, it still can't save it from being another generic money grab for Universal and Illumination. So I'm going to give Minions: The Rise of Gru a 2.5 out of 5. I'm just going to go 50%. I was laughing throughout the film. I didn't have a bad time in the theater, and I love seeing Steve Carell back as his character. But the Minions being A plot lines for me just won't ever work to be a good movie. And hopefully if they continue making these type of films, they go back to the original franchise with Gru, Kristen Wiig, and their 3 kids, because the Minions are meant to be side characters. That's my thoughts on this film. Please like the video, subscribe, ring the bell, comment if you've seen it to me. Do you disagree with like me? What is your ranking of the Despicable Me franchise? Even if you have not seen this film, let me know in the comment section. My upcoming videos here on the channel: review of Stranger Things Season 4, Volume 2 tomorrow. That'll be a spoiler-filled review. As well as on Monday, my box office breakdown show. Wednesday, the spoiler review episode 5 of Miss Marvel. And then a week from today, I'll be doing a non-spoiler review for Thor: Love and Thunder. So please keep up with the channel. I'll see you guys soon.